Yeah, I was just happy about how I attacked the zone. Just do that again, and we're going to have success.
When you talk to the big league staff, whether it's Shelty or your pitching coach, what are they looking to see from you in taking that next step?
I don't know.
Is that a good thing? Could that be
I
a
don't
good
know.
thing?
Yeah, so I think it's just my gut feeling is it's a velo thing. I think command, just staying in the zone more, competing. I think that's what they're looking for.
How have your secondary pitches come along over the course of the last couple of months?
Yeah, they've gotten harder, which is exciting. So that's something I've been continuing to work on, and yeah.
Which one would you say you've taken the biggest step in?
The slider for sure. The slider last year was like 85, and now it's like 88, 89. So definitely more of a hard slider. And I've just seen a lot better results consistently so far. And obviously we're one start into it in spring, so that's been good. The curveball's ticked up a little bit. I knew last year's high 70s. Now it's low 80s. So looking to stay consistent there.
Is that involving the command with both of those two, you think?
Yeah, the command comes to, it just makes it a little bit easier because they don't break as much, being harder, but they're breaking later, so I can throw it off the fastball better.
Mm-hmm. Obviously coming back to start tomorrow, but getting more into a routine now after the spring?
Yeah, for sure. Getting used to the night games here, so that's usually give us about a week, 2 weeks, and then you get used to the night games.
How would you describe your off-season regimen?
It was good. I worked out with Cressy this off-season, Eric Cressy, over in Jupiter. Moved down to Florida, and I was really happy with the off-season, gained a little bit of weight, and like I said, just trying to add the velo piece, add those other things. So.
How much weight did you gain?
About like 5 to 10 pounds, depending on if it's a good day or bad day. So I was
Mostly
like 205 when I finished. Now I'm 212, 213.
Mostly muscle.
Hope so.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all at some point? When I watched some of your spring ball, you talked about your secondary command, but having that fastball to kind of build that secondary stuff off of, how much of a priority has that become for you, or is that for you by this stage?
No, definitely. As a starter, got to be able to pitch off the fastball, and having two of them helps, and definitely throwing the four a little bit harder will help that. But definitely pitching off the sinker to right-handed hitters, and now that the slider's ticked up, we can really use that to lefties and take a little bit of usage off that four seam.
I was going to ask, I know having extra velo can be an advantage, but when it comes to that secondary stuff, when you're building, velo on your curveball, velo on your slider, maybe even velo on your changeup in a way too, how much does that affect how you attack different hitters and maybe what you use in certain situations?
Yeah, to be honest, the attack hasn't really changed. It's still very similar. It's just that the stuff's been better. So I've been able to read swings differently. So I wouldn't say the velo, because the velos came on both ends. It's the separation is still there, if that makes sense. The difference between the sinker and slider are similar because the sinker is 94 now instead of 91. So that slider ticking up 3, it stays on track. So the usage and in terms of the attack is still largely the same, even though things have changed a little bit.
What's next, do you think, in your development?
It's a great question, man. Honestly, it's just being able to throw strikes and be able to throw everything and really read a game for guys the third time through. The better I can be third time through, second time through, that's going to be able to, keep me in games longer and, build those innings and ultimately just be a better pitcher for the team. So if I can take care of the back end of games a little bit better, I think that's probably, when I'll really shine and be a great starter.
I think when you talk about the third time through the order, that kind of separates, this level from maybe this level.
Yeah.
So how much of a priority is that for you right now, would you say, trying to get to that point?
It's not like a crazy priority. It's more me just, continuing the development, continuing maintaining that velo late in the games is going to help, continue the shapes being consistent throughout a game. Those little things I think bleed into that third time through, that I just wasn't doing that well last year. And then also just not overthinking it, man. I definitely started to realize that I was getting beat second, third time through more often than not, or more often than I was early in games. And so almost not putting as much pressure on that and just going out and letting the game come to me instead of forcing stuff and trying to change when I don't have to. And I think that's going to be a big adjustment as well, and that's kind of the focus. So it's certainly we want to get better at it. It's the same with everything, but it's one of those things where the more emphasis you put on it, and then the more I think about it, almost it can go the other way, where I overthink the situation more than I need to. So trying to just keep everything as simple as possible.
How much was there any mechanical adjustment involved in that process over the offseason?
Yeah, no, we're definitely trying. I mean, one of the things we've been working on was like getting the hips up and really bringing that trying to keep the hips positive down the mound, kind of like this, rather than dumping them down towards. And then that's helped with some of the consistency of command and stuff like that. And that's something we've done this spring.